Hey everybody, Steven here, and for this video I wanted to talk about something that's actually been on my mind for a while now, and then this weekend I ended up seeing this situation come up again at the gym, and just kind of felt compelled to make this video, which the situation was two parents at the gym. They had their kid who must have been about maybe 9, maybe 10, and they're making him work out, and which is fine. A lot of times maybe the kid asks, and that's fine to exercise, but because he doesn't have their same level of skill, their same level of intensity, mom was yelling at him and in front of all of us at the gym, and saying that if he didn't do these things right, she was going to take him to the bathroom, which usually means you're either going to get a strict talking to or going to get a spanking. I mean, I'm a parent also, so I get that when they're misbehaving, but they're making him do rope slams and ball slams and all these other things, but because he wasn't doing it the way that they were, the mom had a problem with it. And it's something I've seen before, and like I said, I have no problem if your kid asks to exercise. I mean, my son wants to go to the gym and exercise. He sees all that equipment, right? And I told him I absolutely have no problem teaching him that, and I do in certain instances where he wants to learn a more structured thing with a little bit of weight or something like that. And I help him with little pointers here and there and just kind of nudge him in the right direction. But part of it is him figuring it out himself, as long as it's lightweight, like a light ball to slam or something like that. But she was just freaking out on him because he wasn't squatting down low enough on these ball slams. And with that, I watched from a distance. I was training a client. Her form was horrible. Like, if I'm going off of my experience and all of the certifications and all the work I've put into my craft, I've been doing this over a decade now. Just on the training side, working out, I've done that for, I mean, going on close to 20 years now. But on the workout side, I mean, her form was horrible on all this stuff, like her and her husband. So from an outsider, I'm looking at that, I was like, what are you talking about? You're trying to tell him how to do this stuff. You're doing it wrong. So if I step in and say, well, actually you're supposed to do this, she even had him doing, they would call them bear crawls. We call them cat crawl in parkour, or hand foot crawl in MoveNat. Horrible. That's not how you crawl. Like, there was no structure to it. It's just like, it looked sloppy, but in her mind it had structure. So she's yelling at him to do this stuff. And with that, it's just sad because it's going to be a turnoff for the kid. Like, he looked so disinterested towards the end. And then she's having him sprint in the hallway. Now, I train kids. I have a group of young athletes that I train, and we do tennis ball games. We go to the park. We do some parkour stuff. I teach them how to, when we go to the park, and when we climb trees, we're learning the structure of brachiation, which is swinging from arm to arm. And we use that, both going up and around a tree, or we do it on the actual monkey bars. The tennis ball games for hand-eye coordination, crawling patterns, both in the gym and then outside of the gym to give that context for that. We learn how to do our roles for when they fall, when they're playing soccer, when they're on the field, or when one of them's a basketball player. So looking at all those things, giving context to the movement, but also recognizing that it's play. They're kids. Like, I have no problem with the athletics, because for them that's fun, that's play too, right? That's a game, right? Taking the training seriously, but also recognizing that it's play. We're not just going to goof off the whole time, right? We're going to play these games, but recognizing that it is play. That 9, 10-year-old doesn't need to be berated for not squatting the way that mom wanted him to squat when he's doing a ball slam. Adding a little bit of structure, fine. But she's saying, if you don't do this right, we're going to the bathroom. And sat there and yelled at him like 5 or 6 times. He has no notion of what right is because you haven't given him an example. I watched her, she didn't. And to him, he doesn't neurologically know what to do. You're making him more nervous. You can't yell at the kid, it's just going to make him more nervous. And as you do that, his form is going to get worse for what you expected out of him. So one of the things that I talk about is our bodies want to do, and this is really for my clients, our bodies want to always neurologically do patterns that they feel safe and comfortable with. If it's something new, if you've ever played a new sport, or done a new exercise. It takes a moment, and it takes a while, actually not a moment, a while to get that pattern. Because as you do that, your body isn't neurologically sure what it's doing. So as you do that, over time, gradually you become more and more comfortable with it. But it takes time. You can't yell at me to make me better. As an adult, you can't do that, let alone a kid. Like, yelling at the kid's gonna make them more and more nervous, and it's gonna get worse. So I've seen this pop up a couple times, and I want to hear from anybody else on this too. Just stop thinking that they have to go to the gym to work out. They're kids. They can go to the park and play, right? Go climb a tree. As an adult, go climb a tree. That kid will show you up on climbing that tree, because that's how they train right now when they go do the monkey bars and all these other things. They climb trees on their own already. Go do that, and then they can yell at you because you suck at it, right? That doesn't make any sense. They're highly skilled at climbing these trees. That's the way they train right now, typically. And I don't even want to call it train. This is the way they play. This is the way they move, right? For me to take an adult, and I do with my adults, we'll go climb a tree. They struggle with it. One, they're heavier. Two, they're obviously older, so we're looking at maybe their joints and they have mobility issues and all these other things. But climbing a tree will show you really quickly where you're at. It's not like a pull-up bar, right? It's not just a straight bar. It has a different textured surface to it. Is it smooth? Is it rough in texture? It's not straight all the time, right? It's going to have some little notches on it. It might bend weird. Go climb that tree, and like I said, your kid will show you up with that. Let them move in their natural environment. Instead of bringing them to the gym, maybe you go to where they train. Go to the playground. Actually move with your kid. Don't sit on your phone and watch them at a distance play. You get out there and play. That's their training, right? And so, trying to remove ourselves from that and recognize that the gym, and I tell my clients this also, in the gym, I'm trying to replicate things that I'm going to do outside of the gym, right? And we do these things that are highly isolated, which, if you're needing to build muscle in an area, and bodybuilding is fun if you want to do that, or gain strength in that area, or whatever it is, or maybe you have an injury and we got to work a little bit with that, that's fine. That's just one way to do that. You have to recognize that there are other ways to do that too, based off movement, that you can do and replicate those. But doing strength training, because I mean strength is such a huge component to being able to move well, but recognizing that that's not how it works outside of the gym. Those neurological patterns that you're engaging in there are really for there, because once you leave, movement isn't strict like that. Movement is organic, it's fluid, right? Like I said, climbing a tree. Just go outside and lift something up. I mean, it's summer now. I mean, I'm sure people are lifting bags of mulch and dirt and all that other stuff. Deadlift that, and then notice that there's, structure-wise, there's a similarity, but it is still different. There's no handle. There's not a barbell that I'm grabbing. I'm grabbing dead weight, right? So, recognizing that those patterns there are different than the patterns that you do outside of the gym. Most of them, right? A huge portion of them. Unless you're actually going into the gym, which is what I try to incorporate, where we're going to do certain ground movements, getting up and down off the ground and training that in the gym, so they can say, oh cool, now I have a structured way to do it outside of the gym. So, and I'm really talking about when we're looking at machines and some of the things that we're doing. Rope slams are awesome. I don't really know when I'm gonna slam a rope out in nature or at my house. The outcome from that I use for other things, right? The musculature that I'm building, the conditioning, all that other stuff, I'm using with other activities. But that specific neurological pattern, this motion, I'm not a chariot racer. I don't go do that. I don't race horses, right? When am I going to do that? So understanding that as well. Cut the kid some slack. If he wants to learn, obviously have patience, but if you push kids into being that serious about training, they're going to not want to do it when they're older. They're going to hate it, right? And for me, it's a sad thing to see. My son, we'll go to the park and play. We'll play in the backyard. He gets to come to my group sometimes. We go to Turkey Mountain, or it's not even a mountain, it's at Turkey Hill over here in Tulsa, and we hike. We climb trees. We play our tennis ball games. We roughhouse. looking at those things, right? First, understanding that I can partake in that, and I should be as an adult, and that's his world also right now. He understands that. He knows that. I can give a little pointing here and there. We work on our vaults, right, where we go over objects and all of that, and I can help nudge him in the right direction. I do not want to push him towards that, right? It's really hard to push somebody towards a goal or a thing that you think that they should attain. Even with my clients, I tell them that. I mean, if your goal is to lose X amount of weight and you're trying to push yourself towards it, it's not going to happen. Because 6 weeks, 6 months, maybe 6 days from now, when it sets in that this work, you're going to have to keep doing it, you're going to have to keep grinding, you're not going to have that fuel that you need to keep pushing forward. You're going to peter out, right? That notion of pushing yourself towards it just doesn't work, in my opinion. If you're creating a goal that you're pulled towards, though, right, you're attracted to, easier. All that work, it's easy, it's fun, it's play. So for these kids, creating a situation where it's something that they're enjoying, they're attracted to, right? They really want to engage in and do. The work after that is easy. And that's where I'm really fortunate too to work with these young athletes that do these sports, because I watch them, they truly love their sport. My job is to make sure that they're just well-rounded as athletes. I'm not training them specifically in soccer drills or basketball drills. What we're doing is looking at their global movements and how can I improve how they are as a human. And then everything else improves from there, right? And I've had some people ask, well, all this stuff that you're doing, does it improve their performance with that? And from the parents, I've heard it has. Just taking spills on the soccer field, and we've learned how to do these roles now, and they're more conscious of that. We train it so that we go from this conscious state where they have to think about everything to eventually become subconscious. And as it becomes subconscious, it's just a secondary reaction. They just boom, they go right into it. So they trip on the field, they go right into a role. And that creates a situation where they can be safer on the field now, right? So looking at your kids from that perspective, incorporating play, making it fun, but taking it seriously, right? But it's still fun, it's play to them. Go into their world and play with the equipment that they like to play on, right? You'll find yourself nervous in certain situations where you're climbing up things. You're like, ooh, I'm not unsure. And as you do that, I want you to recognize that you do feel that, because that's what the kid's gonna feel when you're yelling at them, because they can't do rope slams right and they can't do ball slams right and all these other things. So just something I wanted to put out there. I want to hear from everybody else, especially those that have kids and that are dealing with this, and start an open dialogue with this. It's hard. I watched this. My first thought was to go over there and be like, hey, actually do a kids program. I mean, I could, like, but you can't. When a parent's in that state, the first thing she would turn to me and say is, mind your business. This has nothing to do with you. This is my kid. So it's that fine line of saying, I can help, and there's something I could show you that would really be impactful for your child, that they would enjoy, that would get the same outcome that you're looking for. In saying that, and not crossing that line of, well, now I'm trying to tell you how to parent, and now I'm trying to tell you to be calm, and you should not treat your kid like. That's just this fine line to cross. So opening up dialogue is really my intent with that, and hearing from anybody else. So if you want to do that in the comment section, I'm gonna put a link for my Facebook page and my Instagram page also. So if you want to engage there, you can see on my Instagram page, my Facebook page too, the games that we play on a regular basis in the group that I have with these young athletes. And their ages range from 10 to 16. So, and then my son is 9. And I've trained younger. We've done some games with some 6 and 7 year olds. Just really focusing on just, like I said, overall movement and seeing what they're capable of is really, really interesting. And letting them kind of take over from there. It's hard to like give a ton of structure to a 6-year-old for how they should move. So just showing them a couple things and then letting them do what they're going to do. So I'll put that in the description box so you guys can find me, contact me. Like I said, let's open up this dialogue. Let's get some a conversation going on this and how we should look at movement in the context of kids, and even if they are athletes or not, right? So I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you like the video, hit the like button for me. If you dislike it, because I usually don't talk about this, but if you dislike it, like, please put a comment why you dislike it, because I'd like to, like I said, that the dialogue part is what I'm trying to get out of this. So if you dislike it, let me know why. Beyond just a "you suck," be descriptive with that. That's fine. Constructive criticism, I would love to hear from you guys on that. So if you guys want to continue to follow along with all of my content, hit the subscribe button for me. I have a couple videos on some of the games that I play. I'm actually going to pump out more of these videos too, so that I can showcase you guys a lot of the different things that I do with these kids. So maybe it'll give you some ideas for what you can do with your kids when you're going to go engage at the gym or outside of the gym, right? And hopefully you're moving more outside of the gym than just sticking to just in the gym. So thanks for watching, guys.